It's recording time. Hello, recorders. I'm reporting to you live from SacAnime 2023. Happy New Year, and I have an amazing guest. I am here with James Sie. You know him best from Jackie Chan Adventures, Avatar The Last Airbender, and he's also a published author. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Exhausted, but really good.
Well, yeah, exhausted. This is like your first ever Comic-Con appearance. How has the weekend been for you, sir?
It's almost kind of like a blur. You look up and the day is already over, but the great thing is I get to meet so many wonderful people. So many people have come up to me and about Jackie Chan and about Avatar The Last Airbender, and it means so much to them. So I've been having a great time.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, sir. And I really want to talk about Jackie Chan's Adventures legacy with you. How do you feel about that? It's now become one of the most beloved Saturday morning cartoons.
Well, I didn't know that it was until I got here. I mean, I knew people loved it, but I didn't realize the extent to which they did. And a lot of people are saying that it informed their whole childhood, that they grew up watching it, and so that really makes me feel pretty special. Yeah.
And also adding on to that, can you talk about your audition process? Like, were you familiar with Jackie Chan?
I had never done voiceover before, and they needed a voice-alike for Jackie Chan because there was a possibility that he was going to do this series, but then they weren't sure if his schedule would allow it. So I basically watched, Rush Hour 12 times and was able to do, to figure out how to do Jackie and the boy and all the bade, which is which is very him. So as long as you can kind of key into those kind of key phrases and sounds, it became much more natural,
And also, I've been rewatching the show on YouTube. First of all, I'd like to give a special shout out to Throwback Tunes for uploading the episodes. And about that, one thing I noticed that you actually voiced two more characters, Shendu and the henchman Chow. How is it for you as an actor to come up with three different distinct voices?
It was the best. It was the best because there were some episodes where I got to play against myself. I remember the voice director, Susan Blue, asked me, why don't you try Shendu? And we had talked about it, the sound being like cockroaches over tinfoil, that kind of really awful voice that, was pure evil. And to be a little delicious about it, too. And it was great. And then Chow was a henchman, and they needed somebody to do that. So, you just kind of think of something that doesn't sound like Jackie, and it doesn't sound like Shendu. So it became Chow.
Yeah, and you guys had a lot of guest stars on the show, but I think the biggest name you had was Lucy Liu. It felt like having her on the show when she was like on the rise of her career.
Oh, it was exciting that she was going to do. I think she was older Jade, but unfortunately we never got to see her. Yeah, she had recorded separately. When you're a major star, you have to find the time to do it, and it's not with everyone else usually. So, but it was great to have her, amongst all of the great stars, like James Hong, who just recently got a Hollywood Star of Fame. He was in it for many seasons, and it was just wonderful to be with him.
Right. And well, sure, as a kid, I thought it was one of the coolest cartoons. But moving on to another cool cartoon, Avatar: The Last Airbender. How do you feel about the Cabbage Merchant has become such a beloved fan favorite?
It's crazy that just with 2 words, I could achieve such immortality. I've always thought, I wish I could play this role or that role, but you kind of never know what history will bring out for you and what blessings come from the smallest of roles. And so what was just one kind of throwaway line became a kind of fan favorite, watching for little cameos of the Cabbage Merchant throughout the series. So it turned out to be an amazing blessing.
Yeah. At the top of your head, what do you think is the Cabbage Merchant's name?
Sid.
Well, they had a character called Sud, who was an Earthbender master.
No, that was his brother. Yeah. You didn't know that. Yes, back in the day, they split, and one was Sid and one was Sud. So.
Good to know. And also, are you aware how in the Legend of Korra, the Cabbage Merchant basically became a tech billionaire, created Cabbage Corps? How did it feel? Do you felt the character got his justice?
It did. It shows you that out of all your hardships, something amazing can happen, and you never know what life will bring to you. So I was very glad when I found out that he had established Cabbage Core. Yeah.
And I know you can't go into the specifics about this, but can you at least talk about getting the call to like, bring him to life in the upcoming live-action Avatar show for Netflix?
It was a real honor to be called for the show. They had called me. I don't know how they found me, and it's a wonderful thing being able to bridge the animated series and the live action. And I can't say anything about it, but I can say that everybody who worked on it is such a big fan of the series, not just the story, but the series. And I think that they're really going to bring what everybody loves about the series into live action. I'm really excited to see it.
Well, I hope maybe you could talk about this. For the kid actors, how did they react that you were the OG Cabbage Man?
There were a lot of people, both behind the scenes and actors who I felt like visiting royalty when I went out to do my scene, because everybody knew me, and it felt really special to come back to live action with something like this.
And I want to, on a final note, I want to talk about a couple of your books, like the most recent one, All Kinds of Love. Like, how did it feel for you to tell this kind of LGBT story? Because I myself wish that as a kid I could have understand better, like cis and transgender.
Oh, absolutely. I feel the same way. The book is called All Kinds of Other, and it came at a time when I thought that, the issues of being a transgender teen were going to be going away, because we had just gotten gay marriage, and Obama had signed a lot of great legislation about the bathroom bills for transgender students. And so I'm more glad that I wrote it now, because instead of it getting better, it's gotten worse for a lot of kids during this last 4 or 5 years. So at the time that I wrote it, there weren't many books featuring transgender characters, so I was really glad to be able to kind of put one out there. And luckily now there are a lot more titles for kids by transgender authors as well. So I'm glad to be part of that.
And also, how do you feel about that? TV shows such as The Loud House, The Owl House, like are telling more LGBT representation.
It's wonderful. And also there's a website called Queer Vox Academy, which helps LGBTQ wannabe voiceover actors to break into the business, to find opportunities. And so I think having people who are writing for that community, as well as people who are in the community acting in it, is a really special thing, and I hope it continues and grows.
Well, we all hope so too. We got to keep fighting the battle. Now, I'd like to wrap it up with a few of your fan favorite roles, quick ones. Playing Quan in Danny Phantom.
Wait. You made me blank. And that was one of the first things I did after Jackie Chan. And yes, I remember it. I just don't remember any of the lines.
Well, I do remember he did a poem at a goth club, and he kind of got kicked out for being all happy-feely.
I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch some of those. I have very little memory of that. So yeah.
Well, it's understandable, sir. And the final one, playing Eddie in Uncharted.
That was very funny. It was my first motion capture, and I had a lot of fun swearing in Indonesian. So. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you so much for your time, James. Well, recorders, thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit that subscribe button, comment down below. Please support the Trevor Project, and keep an eye out to what James comes out. Any final words you'd like to say, sir?
My cabbages!
All right, thank you, recorders, and catch you next time.